What's up, guys? This is Chris from DraftDashboard.com. Here are my DFS picks for NBA Sunday, November 21st. These picks apply for DraftKings and FanDuel. Before I get started, please drop a like on this video and hit that red subscribe button and hit that bell icon so you don't miss our new videos. In this video, I'm going to go over my top picks for today's NBA slate. And if you stick around to the very end of this video, we'll use the Draft Dashboard tools to make a DFS lineup using the picks we just made. Okay guys, we have a 4-game slate tonight. And wow, yesterday's picks just didn't go so well. So let's see if we can get back on track here. At the point guard position, I like Chris Paul from the Phoenix Suns playing the Denver Nuggets, who have a good defense overall, and they give up the 12th most fantasy points to opposing point guards. Chris Paul has averaged 41.5 fantasy points per game on the season, playing an average of 32 minutes per game with a 20% usage rate. He's projected at 41.5 fantasy points here tonight. That's 5 times value. He's $8,300 DraftKings salary, $600 more on FanDuel. Vegas thinks there's going to be 209.5 points scored in this game, and Chris Paul has scored 51, 33, and 38 fantasy points in the last 3 games, playing 33, 36, and 33 minutes. He's also scored 42, 54, 53, 50, and 49 fantasy points in his last 5 games versus the Nuggets. So fantastic player versus team history. So I like Chris Paul here versus the Denver Nuggets. Now here's a sleeper pick, a low salary value play. I like Corey Joseph from the Detroit Pistons playing the LA Lakers, who have the 4th worst defense overall, and they give up the absolute most fantasy points to opposing point guards. Corey Joseph has averaged 15.6 fantasy points per game on the season, playing an average of 21 minutes per game with a 17% usage rate. He's projected at 15.6 fantasy points here tonight. That's 4.9 times value. He's $3,200 DraftKings salary and $600 more on FanDuel. Vegas thinks there's going to be 209.5 points scored in this game, and Corey Joseph has scored 21 and 29 fantasy points in his last 2 games, playing 29 and 30 minutes. And he's got a fantastic matchup, so I like Corey Joseph as a low salary value play here versus the LA Lakers. Before I continue with the picks, I'm excited today because we added a new contest for everyone watching. If you want to enter the drawing for $25 PayPal, all you need to do is like this video, hit that subscribe button, and make a quick comment below to be entered into the drawing. We'll reply to a random comment and let you know that you won, and we'll send you $25 PayPal. So it's that easy, and we pick a new winner every Saturday and announce them in our video. So get your comment in now so I can add another entry for you. Okay, let's take a look at the shooting guard position. I like Mikal Bridges from the Phoenix Suns playing the Denver Nuggets, who have a good defense overall. They've been good versus opposing shooting guards, but Mikal Bridges has averaged 24.7 fantasy points per game on the season, playing an average of 33 minutes per game with a 15% usage rate. He's projected at 24.6 fantasy points here tonight. That's 5.1 times value. He's $4,800 DraftKings salary, $300 more on FanDuel. Vegas thinks there's going to be 209.5 points scored in this game, and Mikal Bridges has scored 34, 27, and 15 fantasy points in the last 3 games, playing 36, 36, and 32 minutes. So a wide range of outcomes, but I like that he's playing a ton of minutes at low salary, so I like Mikal Bridges here versus the Denver Nuggets. Okay, let's take a look at the small forward position. I like Gary Trent Jr. from the Toronto Raptors playing the Golden State Warriors, who have a good defense overall. They're middle of the pack defending opposing small forwards. Gary Trent Jr. has averaged 30.3 fantasy points per game on the season, playing an average of 34 minutes per game with a 21% usage rate. He's projected at 31.4 fantasy points here tonight. That's 5.1 times value. He's 6,200 DraftKings salary, 800 more on FanDuel. Vegas thinks there's going to be 215.5 points scored in this game, and Gary Trent Jr. has scored 34, 43, and 32 fantasy points in the last 3 games, playing 36, 33, and 39 minutes. So I think Gary Trent Jr. has been our most consistent pick throughout the season. He's been super productive almost every game that he plays, playing a ton of minutes. So you know what's going to happen tonight, guys. He's going to go out there, put up a 15, and destroy your lineup. No, I think he should be fine. But I like Gary Trent Jr. here versus the Golden State Warriors.
Real quick, guys, I got great news. For a limited time, we're offering a full 30-day trial to Draft Dashboard. You can try all of our DFS tools for all sports. You can try the Position Optimizer, where you can see the top players ranked for each position. And we added a new Player Trends tool, where you can see the top salary differences between FanDuel and DraftKings. It's a really good tool to help you pick out value for the site that you're playing on. Oh, and if you're tired of doing research every day, we just added a cheat sheet that shows hand-picked plays for the slate. No confusing stat lines, no headaches, just a simple cheat sheet that shows the absolute best players for your lineups.
Okay, moving on to the power forward position. Here's another low salary value play I think is interesting. Take a look at Derrick Jones Jr. from the Chicago Bulls playing the New York Knicks, who have the 10th worst defense overall. They give up the 4th most fantasy points to opposing power forwards. Derrick Jones Jr., he's averaged 15.9 fantasy points per game on the season, playing an average of 18 minutes per game with a 14% usage rate. He's projected at 16.9 fantasy points here tonight. That's 5 times value. He's 3,400 DraftKings salary, 600 more on FanDuel. Vegas thinks there's going to be 209.5 points scored in this game. And Derrick Jones Jr. has scored 28, 14, and 23 fantasy points in the last 3 games, playing 23, 20, and 16 minutes. So it's a good matchup, and I like that Derrick Jones Jr. has gotten 20 minutes or more the past 2 games. So I like Derrick Jones Jr. here versus the New York Knicks. Okay, moving on to the center position. Here's another value play, high risk, high reward, but take a look at JaVale McGee from the Phoenix Suns playing the Denver Nuggets, who have a good defense overall. They've been good versus opposing centers, but JaVale McGee has averaged 21.7 fantasy points per game on the season, playing an average of 16 minutes per game with a 24% usage rate. He's projected at 21.2 fantasy points here tonight. He's 3,900 DraftKings salary, 800 more on FanDuel. Now, JaVale McGee has scored 26, 23, and 15 fantasy points in his last 3 games, playing 15, 11, and 11 minutes. So the risk here is just that JaVale McGee doesn't play a ton of minutes, but he is a point per minute monster, scoring 1.36 fantasy points per minute. So if he can get 15 minutes or more here, he should hit value. So I like JaVale McGee here versus the Denver Nuggets. Now, another guy that's the same DraftKings salary, who I think would be a little bit more of a safe play or a safer play, because I think he's going to get way more minutes than JaVale McGee. He doesn't have nearly the fantasy points per minute stat, but he's still right around 1 fantasy point per minute. Take a look at Precious Achiuwa from the Toronto Raptors playing the Golden State Warriors. And Precious Achiuwa has averaged 22.6 fantasy points per game on the season, playing an average of 24 minutes per game with a 19% usage rate. He's projected at 24 fantasy points here tonight, and that's 6.2 times value. He's $3,900 DraftKings salary, $1,100 more on FanDuel, and he's Vegas thinks there's going to be 215.5 points scored in this game. Looks like he's dealing with right shoulder tendonitis, but he is expected to take the court. So I like Precious Achiuwa here versus the Golden State Warriors. Oh, just to note, he did play last game, played 24 minutes, so he's going to be good to go here tonight.
If you want to try all these daily fantasy tools for yourself, click the link in the description below this video or just go to draftdashboard.com. You can use our DFS lineup optimizer to build quality lineups using our picks and your own custom player pool. Click the link in the description below this video and try all these daily fantasy tools right now. Thanks so much for watching. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel and hit that bell icon so you can get instant updates whenever we post a new video. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed this video, please smickety smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Oh, and please comment below with your favorite player for this NBA slate. I love to hear what you guys have to think. Thanks again, and good luck.